Hello and good afternoon everyone. You are watching our Tuesday update broadcasting live from the regional capital, Bahir Dar, Ethiopia. And the presenter of the news, I am Yohannes Lijalem. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has urged Ethiopians to inherit positive assets of their forefathers from the victory of Adwa to solve contemporary challenges and build prosperous Ethiopia. Bahan Worknech has the details of this story.
In a momentous ceremony, a step in history and hope, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed inaugurated the Adwa Victory Memorial in the presence of President Sahle-Work Zewde, Deputy Prime Minister Temesgen Turune, Supreme Court President Theodros ምህረት, House of People's Representatives Speaker Taggese Chafo, Prosperity Party Deputy Chairman, Army Chief of Staff Field Marshal Browno Jula, high-ranking government officials, diplomats and other invited dignitaries. The memorial, a testament to the legendary 1896 Battle of Adwa, stands as a beacon of Ethiopian resilience and self-determination. It is unveiling 128 years after the resounding victory resonated deeply with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister attributed its realization to a confluence of chance, struggle and hard work, highlighting the pivotal role these elements play in shaping human destiny. While other nations with shared ancestry may strive to build such monuments, but they cannot embody the spirit of heroes of Adwa such as Minilik, Balcha or Alula. This is a legendary, uniquely our heroes. However, the Prime Minister acknowledged that Ethiopia's journey has not been without its thorns. Our forefathers had known on what issues they became cooperative and made difference. They also knew the difference between the government and interest of the country. The forefathers have the knowledge that identifies government and state interest and called on the new generation to inherit the positive assets from them. Our forefathers, the Prime Minister emphasized, understood the power of unity and discernment. They distinguished between the government and the true interest of the nation. This wisdom is a crucial inheritance we must embrace. The Prime Minister urged the younger generation to not simply inherit the files of the past, but to harness the true spirit of Adwa's victors. This spirit embodies the eradication of poverty, unwavering defense against invaders, the preservation of dignity and the achievement of full sovereignty. Furthermore, Abiy underscored the enduring lesson of separating government interests from the national good, a wisdom gleaned from the triumphs of Ethiopia's ancestors.
Guests attending the African Union Summit have started arriving in the capital, Addis Ababa. Burhanu Yismail has more on this story.
Ambassador Burtukan Ayano briefed on the readiness to welcome leaders who will participate in the 37th African Summit as well as the 44th meeting of the Executive Council of the African Union. In the meantime, more than 35 organizations have been involved for the successful implementation of the summit. Burtukan said that the guests who will be attending the conference have started to enter Addis Ababa. Burtukan also said that there will be a meeting of African foreign ministers starting from Wednesday. Burtukan added that the security agencies have made preparations for the conference to be held without flaws, adding that hotels have made adequate arrangements for various service providers. Burtukan noted that the participants of the conference will have a schedule where they will visit large projects alongside the meeting. The ambassador said this would further enhance the importance of Addis Ababa's position as a diplomatic center. In this regard, the construction of the Adwa Victory Memorial is an important one to show the sacrifice made by Africans for freedom. Burtukan said, on February 14 and 15, 2024, the 44th meeting of the Executive Council of the African Union and the 37th African Union Summit will be held on February 17 and 18, 2024. Among the agendas of the meeting are teaching Africans fit for the 21st century, building invincible education system and expanding access to inclusive, lifetime quality and relevant education in Africa. Peace and security, trade and ties, institutional reforms, education and agriculture and climate change, human rights, gender and youth empowerment are also the focal points of the discussion.
Deputy Secretary General of the Commission of UNESCO for Ethiopia, Ameco Getahun, stated that the inscription of heritage under the organization is a means to ensure the economic benefits of the country. The Deputy Secretary added that the Commission is exerting maximum efforts to inscribe both tangible and intangible heritage of Ethiopia. Our reporter, Burhan Workana, has talked to the Deputy Secretary General and compiled this report.
UNESCO is an international organization working on identifying, nominating, inscribing and preserving world heritages. In an exclusive interview with Amhara Media Corporation English Service Messenger Program, Mr. Ameco Getahun, Deputy Secretary General of Ethiopian National Commission for UNESCO, said the Commission is working adapting 10 international criteria so as to inscribe many more natural, cultural, tangible and intangible heritages found in Ethiopia.
Generally, as a world, there are standardized 10 criteria in order to nominate or register cultural or natural heritage in the world. As Ethiopian, again, we have adapting such 10 standardized criteria in order to select or nominate our heritages in order to registered as a world heritage or property.
According to Deputy Secretary General of Ethiopian National Commission, uniqueness, representation and being exemplary are among important pointers to inscribe the heritage at UNESCO.
Uniqueness is a must. In order, that heritage should be unique in the world. And representation of heritages for that of piece of areas or site. That heritage should be example for the world and another peoples in order to take different educations from that.
Mr. Ameco Getahun also stated that inscribing many heritages at UNESCO has economical benefit to the nation and the community. The Deputy Secretary further stated that it makes service providing sectors to become beneficiary from the tourism sector.
This is one part of industry. The tourism industry. Industry by its nature, it generates economy. It has its own economical benefits. Simply, when there are so many heritages listed in the world or international heritage, most of visitors or tourists may come to the country in order to visit such like of colorful heritages. Most of tourists use our hotel service, transport service and such like things.
As to the Deputy Secretary General of Ethiopian National Commission for UNESCO, Ethiopia is the leading country in having inscribed 15 heritages, 11 tangible and 4 intangible heritages in Africa.
First, 1978, we have 3 heritages at once we have inscribed. Ethiopia, 15 heritages inscribed in the world. For intangible and generally about 11 tangible heritages were inscribed. So by these 15 inscribed heritages or international heritage of Ethiopian heritage as well, we are a leading stage in Africa.
Markus Fischer is a German national who consistently visited Ethiopia for the last 12 years. The tourist has chosen Bahir Dar city as one of his most favorite travel destinations due to its natural beauty and conducive climate conditions. Modomuliye has more on this story.
Markus Fischer is a German. 15 years ago, he visited Ethiopia for the very first time. And for the last 12 years, in every January, this German national comes to Ethiopia and spends a couple of months in the country. The capital city of Amhara regional state, Bahir Dar, is one of his most preferred cities to stay in.
I've seen the development of this small city growing up so fast, and especially when I traveled to this different city, for example, Nazareth, I also love very much, or Aksum, and so it's nice. But especially somehow, I cannot totally exactly tell you why, but especially I love Bahir Dar the most.
In an exclusive interview with Amara Media Corporation, Marcus Fisher described the impressive local culture and tradition he has experienced and some of the must-see attractions and landmarks in the city of Badar and around.
To travel the islands, to travel the Blue Nile waterfall. For me, the one thing is to see the nice touristy places, but the other thing is to understand the country. You have to understand the people who live in the country. Get a feeling, how are the people? What's their character? What's their focus? What is their life? Why are they different than Germans? And what does make their life somehow better? And where there are things where I can learn from them, and where there are things they can learn from me.
The German national has compared the natural beauty of Badar city with other places he has visited so far. Fisher also told of the interesting interactions that he has had with the local people in the city.
Badar is very beautiful because of the lake and because of there are many birds, even they are only on Lake Tana, and it's always green all the year, which is not common in Ethiopia. The hospitality always is great, always, wherever I go. You know, I immediately feel like a member in the family, and where I go, often I'm offered, come stay, you can stay here, you get a bed, yeah, you can stay overnight, and so I have many families also here. Sharing these moments, this is really makes, for me, Ethiopia so precious. Yeah.
In general, Marcus Fisher explained the hospitality of the people, the attractive tourist sites, and the conducive climatic conditions are some of the pulling factors for choosing Badar city as one of his most favorite travel destinations.
You're watching the news from Amara Media Corporation English. And now, as we proceed to news beyond borders. As the war in Sudan continues, women and girls have been learning new skills in combat training camp set up in the former schoolyard. The training camp in Port Sudan, one of the many set up across the country after the Sudanese army called on civilians to take up arms. Military officers have been teaching women drills how to use weapons such as AK-47 assault rifles. Some women told the British broadcaster Sky News they were attending campus to show solidarity with their family members who had been conscripted to fight for the Sudanese military. As I said, they were learning new skills to defend themselves and their families. The 10 months of clashes between the Sudanese military led by General Abdul Fattah al-Burhan and Rapid Support Forces, powerful paramilitary group commanded by General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, has decimated vast swaths of the northeastern African country. The conflict erupted last April in the capital Khartoum and quickly spread to other areas of the country after months of simmering tension between the two forces, as reported by Africa News. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell has urged allies of Israel, primarily the United States, to stop sending its weapons as too many people are being killed in Gaza. Borrell said that, pointing to the US President Joe Biden comment last week that Israel's military action was over the top. Borrell added that the international community believes that this is a slaughter and that too many people are being killed. Maybe we have to think about the provision of arms. The chief of the European Union diplomat also slammed an order by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that more than 1 million Palestinians sheltering in the Gaza city of Rafah needed to be evacuated ahead of a planned Israeli military operation there. This is not the first time Borrell expressed concern over an invasion of the southern Gaza city of Rafah. On Sunday, he said an assault there would lead to unspeakable humanitarian catastrophe and grave tensions with neighboring Egypt, as reported by Al Jazeera. The This is all we have for today. Thank you for your company and have a splendid afternoon with the rest of Amman Media Corporation English program.
Thank you.